All right. Hello, guys.
Hi.
Good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to our 10 to 13 focus. This is actually the level that I have been doing the least. I hope to meet some new people, hopefully, and also happy to see some of the veterans that are usually here. But welcome, folks. For those of you who might not know us from previous webinars, my name is Thiago. I'm going to write this down in the comments here. I'm 29. I am originally from Brazil. I come from Sao Paulo, but I grew up in California. I've been working for my S since 2016, and I live in Milan. And then joining me, one of my colleagues, we have.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sean. I'm 21 years old. I'm from Ireland. I have been working in the school on Via Meravigli here in Milan since September.
Exactly. So, welcome, guys. As always, if you can, I know it can be a little bit repetitive because we ask you this every time, but let us know your name, let us know where you're writing to us from. We have students from different cities in Italy, we have some people from France, from Spain. So, it's always nice to know who we're talking with. So, if you can, if you do have a Google account, just let us know in the comment box. That also makes it more interactive. I think it makes it a lot more useful for you guys to get involved as well. So let us know.
Definitely.
Okay, so today we're doing this focus activity called What's the Word? Which you might have done in previous levels. We have a different version of this focus for every kind of level group. And it's all about communicating when it's not easy to communicate. So sometimes you might feel like you master the language, you have a good hold on it. But then there might be some really specific words or specific situations that you can struggle with. One example that I think of was the first time I tried to get a haircut in Italy because I had studied Italian for I think like 2.5 years before I came here. So I actually knew it fairly well. I was pretty confident with my Italian. And so when I went, to get my hair cut, I just didn't think anything of it. I just went there, feeling confident. And it wasn't until I sat down and the hairdresser asked me how I wanted my hair that I realized I didn't have any of the vocabulary except for forbici, the scissors. That was the only thing I knew. And so it can come in handy when you know strategies to kind of navigate the language and kind of, get your point across, something like that. What about you,
Yeah.
Sean? So I guess you do speak Italian, right? Because your dad being Italian, you're spending a lot of time here.
I mean, insofar, like you said, there are just contexts where you're missing uh, words that are really key to that specific context, no
Hmm.
matter how general your language is. And I find Italians really like specific vocabulary, especially when it comes to things like food or clothes or hairdressing. They have all kinds of really specific terms that
Yeah.
you won't know. But did you get a really bad haircut in that experience?
No, I mean, it was okay in the end. I mean, my haircut is like pretty simple. It's just kind of like a bit longer on top. It's just like pretty standard. So it wasn't too bad. But, I think like getting haircuts in general can be daunting, even in your own language. But that was definitely an experience for me. Then I learned to, kind of think ahead before jumping in something like that, at least reviewing some vocabulary. But yeah, I do agree with you. I think, of course, in English, we do also have loads of really specific vocabulary, but English can sometimes be a lot more kind of logical in its expressions, whereas in Italian, some of the words, yeah, they're really, really specific. And if you just don't know it, you just don't know it. So yeah. So yeah, guys. So that's what we'll be doing today. All right. Welcome, Paula. I remember you from some other webinars. So cool. All right, so if you look at the objectives here, we're looking at describing unknown objects, idioms for understanding, and expressions for clarification. So do participate as much as you can. We're going to start here nice and easy. So we've got two pictures here that you can see. And I'm sure you probably know, actually, both words. Without using those words, though, can you maybe explain to us what those things are? So what is this first thing and what is this second thing? And specifically for the second one, think of the object itself that you might have in a house or an office. So Paula, whoever else, just, do your best. Try to explain to someone who doesn't know the word what that is.
Yeah. I know the word in Italian for one of these things, not the other.
Which one do you know? The first one?
Yeah, I know that. I don't know the other one. Do
Yeah.
you?
Come to think of it, I don't.
So
I don't
there
think
you
so.
go.
Yeah, we'll see what these guys say. Yeah, the first one is one that is usually hated universally, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan. Don't really
I
get
just
the
don't
appeal.
understand, why we still have them. Because, I've never met anyone who actually likes them. Oh, Paula, it.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
succinct, very
so that's
effective.
quite nice. Yeah, that immediately gets the person to thinking of it. So, but obviously, Paula, so think about maybe being a little more descriptive. So if you just say it, the person might not know, but I don't know, just try to use a few more words and you can incorporate it into your description, definitely. But try to get the person to really understand what you're talking about here. Yeah, I've always really liked the second one when I was little. I've always liked maps in general.
Yeah, no, I had one as a present, and I really enjoyed it. Not sure why.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you have some nice words there, Paula. Definitely. So a world map. But again, it's best if we can to try to be even more specific, especially considering that, we're in level 10 to 13. This can be a really good challenge for you to, incorporate prepositions, be really descriptive in your vocabulary. So here, let's we have plenty of pictures in this focus, so we'll be doing this a lot during this hour. So here, Sean, do you want to describe the first one and I'll describe the second one?
So, it's a person, a performer at the circus, white makeup, a red nose, big shoes, funny, sad, and sometimes scary.
Exactly. And then immediately, it's a clown, as Paula had there. And for the second one, so I'm going to incorporate what you said here. It's Mappa Mondo. Interesting. We focus on a different element of it. So the second object, this is a round object. In fact, it's a sphere. So it's a 3D object that depicts the world map. You usually, if you touch it, you can turn it around so you can visualize it from different sides. And this is common in geography classes, but it's often used as a decoration item as well. And in English, we would call this a globe.
Yeah, a globe.
A globe, yeah. So it's interesting that in Italian, you focus on the map part of it. We focus more on the, almost like the shape of it. Cool. So a couple things that we can that can be useful here when giving description. So this is a person or object that Okay, so quite basic, but this is a nice way to start. There's a person, there's a job, that. A couple other words that were used here: to depict, as in to show something. So this is an object that depicts the map of the world. I think the first one is a man with a makeup who makes you smile, but I don't like it. Exactly. I think that immediately follows a good description. See, it's a man with makeup who smiles, but I don't like it. And since most people don't like it, it makes it really easy to guess as well. Exactly. And it's nice that you use use who as well. So if we're talking about people, we use who. In fact, in my example, I said it's a person that, but it'd be better to say it's a person who, and it's an object that. So good job. And welcome, Valeria from Como. No worries about being late. So Valeria, we're in this focus, we're talking about ways to describe things that you might not know the word for without using the word itself, and instead using descriptions and different language for it. So here we have two more, guys. And so let's try to use some specific verbs, but this is a person who, this is an object that, this is an animal, etc. So try to describe to someone what these things are. So I actually come from an area in Brazil that is actually well known for this first phenomenon here. It's actually one of the places in the world with the highest
Really?
incidence of this. Yeah. It's quite fascinating, actually. I
Oh,
remember, being there on holiday, and you would see like so much of it, and just going in all directions as well, like sideways. It was a bit scary, but it's
yeah.
definitely
It's a
cool
bit,
to see.
it's a bit dangerous, no?
It is, because I mean, you have it's more often, but it's still like the chances of you getting struck by that, they're so small that you don't even hear much about.
Hmm.
And okay, Paula has another good example from before. So the globe is an object that you can use to find a city and dream about. Yeah, and dream about travels or dream about a trip. If you want to use it in the singular, it's better to say a trip. Nice.
Yeah. Mm. What fascinated me about the globe as a child was how small Ireland was compared to everything.
Ah,
Because to
yeah.
me, Ireland was the whole world. It felt
Right,
very
right.
big. I guess you can't relate with America and Brazil, but for Ireland, it was very strange.
And I mean, if we consider most of the maps that we have and the way they're drawn, they actually tend to make Europe appear bigger than it actually is, right? So if you were to actually see,
Yeah.
compared to other places, I mean, Africa, Brazil, those places are actually much bigger than they seem on a standard map because of all the distortions and all. So Valeria has a really good, yeah, that's a nice word there, thunderbolt or thunder in general. It's quite nice. We even have we have the two words we can say: lightning, which tends to refer to the what you see, and then we say thunder,
Hmm.
what you hear. But yeah, thunderbolt, like the bolt, is quite nice as well. And so, what about and so not only the vocabulary, but how can you explain this to someone? Imagine the person doesn't know. You say the word thunderbolt, you say the word globe, and they're like, "Wait, what's that? What's a globe? What's a thunderbolt?" And so you actually have to describe it. How can you do that?
Yeah. I was recently doing a webinar with our colleague Michelle about the weather, and we had to explain this. And she came up with a very good suggestion. She said, "On Harry Potter's forehead."
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Okay. So while you guys come up with your own descriptions of these two things, we can explain this one. So, all right, Sean, do you want to do first? I'll do the second again.
So this is a a natural phenomenon. It's happens when there's a storm. It's a flash of light from the sky that hits the ground, and it can be dangerous. It can be it depends if it hits you or not.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna put the description here for you guys as well. Okay. So as we can see here, so this is a natural phenomenon that, right, because we're not talking about a person, that happens when there is a storm. It's a flash of light from the sky that hits the ground, and it can be dangerous, and it depends if it hits you or not. So great. Paula says, in my opinion, thunder is fascinating, but only if you watch it from home. Yeah, that's the thing. If you're watching it from home, then it can be, yeah, fascinating, interesting, but not when you're out and about. I know a big precaution that is taken in the area where I come from is, swimming pools. They absolutely need to be closed when there's a storm, because with a storm, there's always thunder in that area. It's something that in Italy I haven't experienced much. Very rarely have I seen thunder and lightning here. But there it would actually shake, like you would hear the windows rattling. It was really strong. It's a signal of a strong storm, Valeria. Good. In fact, a big storm, we call it a thunderstorm. So good one. Thunderstorm. Storm. Rita says, I definitely hate thunders, especially in summer. Yeah, that's true. Although I feel like summer here, it doesn't usually rain very much. That's another thing. See, in Brazil, summer is
I
kind of
have
like the rainy season.
okay. Now, I remember once as a child on the beach in Italy, completely suddenly there was a big storm with thunder and lightning. So very rarely the good weather can be broken by a storm,
Yeah.
but it's not constant, certainly. It's not regular.
And did everyone have to, everyone ran away once it started?
Yeah, I mean, it was terrifying. It was a complete shift in the whole weather because in
Yeah.
Ireland, if there's a thunderstorm, it was probably raining anyway.
Yeah.
So what the hell? But
Doesn't change that much.
it
Yeah.
was very, very shocking when you're on the beach.
Cool. So, all right, the second one. So, this is an animal that can come in different colors. Usually, we associate the color green with it, but it can be orange, it can be red, yellow. It is an amphibian. It can sometimes live in the water, but some of them also live on land. Some species can also be poisonous or venomous, right? Venomous in this case. Um, and there is a story for children in which the princess kisses this animal and it becomes a prince.
Mhm. Okay, so you said a lot there. I've tried to type up some
Oh
of it.
yeah, sorry, I forgot. We're typing it. Okay.
Hmm. Yes.
Great, guys. So yeah, so if you're writing your answers, just keep going, okay? Don't delete it. So just send it through to us and we'll have a look through it. So we're going to skip ahead through this, guys. We're really going to focus on describing things. So here we have some different categories. So things you find in your bathroom, things you find in the desert, places you go on a date, things you find at a hardware store, things you find at the gym, and things you find on a farm. Okay, so we're just gonna go through these, and each of them will come with some words that might be unknown or not used very often. So try to describe it. So choose just one of them and then try to describe it, and we'll go over it together. So here's the first one. So Sean, could you read just the words that this for them?
Razor, a scale, and a bathtub.
Exactly. So how can we describe these things, guys? So remember what we said before. This is an object that can be used to blah, blah, blah. It's often, it can be found in or at. It's used by, if you want to say the kind of people who use it. Just to kind of help you guys out here. Okay. So, all right, Sean, do you want to choose one and describe it?
Yeah, sure. I'll just go with the first one, a razor. So this is a tool for shaving. You can shave your face, you can shave your legs, you can buy you can buy them as disposable or ones that you can reuse. They're generally sharp like a knife for the shaving, and you could accidentally cut yourself, and so you have to be careful with these objects.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Perfect. Oh, YouTube rejected my. Oh no, it did go through.
Yeah, it splits them in two if they're very long, I think, sometimes.
Ah, that's what did it. Okay. All right. Was then you can accidentally cut yourself, so you need. Let me try to post it again. Okay, here we go. Cool. All right, Paula saying a scale is a terrifying object, especially for women. Usually it stays in a bathroom. Okay, yeah, exactly. It usually stays in a bathroom. You can also say it's usually found in a bathroom. Stay is good, but when you use the verb to stay, usually means that it's located there and it doesn't go anywhere else. So it stays in the bathroom. Which is okay if that's what you mean. But if I think more generally, it is usually found in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We,
cool.
I grew up in a house without a scale. It was a big thing for my mother. She said they were evil and they were not in the house. So
Yeah,
I
because it can
completely
turn
gave
into an
up.
obsession easily if you have it.
I mean, even if you're not conscious, it's very easy to be, obsessed about
Especially if it's in the bathroom, or you're gonna take a shower. I might as well weigh myself. Yeah.
Just think about it.
Exactly. And Paula, yeah, good job here. And you can use it to weigh yourself. Perfect. Just be mindful, just because we're 10 to 13, we're going to be really specific here with all the accuracy. So the noun is weight with a T. So my weight is, if you use the verb, we don't use the H in that case. And so we say to weigh. So weight and weigh. Okay, nicely done. Valeria, this is an object that can be used to shave your beard or hair all over your body, and it can be found in the supermarkets. It can be used by both men and women. Wonderful. And she agrees with Paula for the description of this scale. Yeah, exactly. Nicely done. Nicely done. You could even say, Valeria, if you want, you can talk about body hair. And that already communicates. We have body hair. You can have facial hair for like your beard, your mustache, etc. And then just hair in general. It's just the one on our heads. Paula, yeah, in this period, it's better not to use a scale. I agree. Yeah, I just don't have one, and I have no desire for it.
Yeah. I don't have a scale or a bathtub. I don't really want a scale, but I would love a bathtub personally.
Yeah, bathtub would be really nice. Yeah, but I do like the option because I did have a house once with a bathtub, and the shower was kind of incorporated into the bathtub, and so most days that was like I would just take a shower there. And I was always like paranoid about falling and like hitting my head. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
cool. All right, guys. We're gonna move on just to the next category. We have loads of categories to do here, so keep the comments coming. It's all about expressing yourself and describing things. Okay, and we can get practice with that. So here, it's things you find in the desert, and we have, of course, the cactus, sand, and the camel. So here, while you guys write your definitions, I guess I'll describe camel. So this is an animal that is usually associated with deserts. In some ways, it is similar to a horse. It can be used to transport things. Some people ride this animal as well. It has it usually has two humps on its back. And it is also a famous brand of cigarettes.
Mhm.
Have you ever been to a desert, Sean?
No, I mean, I've never been outside of Europe, so there's no deserts
Yeah. Yeah,
here,
no
really.
deserts here, really. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. In California, there are quite a few deserts. Like Death Valley is a really big one. But actually, especially if you go to so California is divided in half. You have the Sierras, which is like a mountain range. And most of the famous cities are on the west, right? So the west of that, so by the coast. But on the east, it's mostly just all deserts. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's really cool. One time I drove from Sacramento to LA when I was learning to drive. I wanted to get practice kind of driving on the highway, but not like a really busy one. So we decided to go through the Eastern Sierras and lots of different deserts. I actually even visited a town that was an old mining town that now is just completely empty. So it's a ghost town. And you
Ooh.
can like, yeah, it's really cool. And you can even like, peep through the windows and you see like the old classrooms and all the objects have stayed there. I mean, it's kind of like a state park now, but there's not even management. That's how empty it is. Like, I mean, you're supposed to leave the money in a little box in the parking lot. So it's
Wow.
just an honest system, really. You can, yeah, it's called Bodie. If anyone
Okay.
ever goes to California and wants something different, it's
No,
called.
I love westerns. I'd love to go to one.
Oh, you would love it then. And it's huge, I mean, you can spend like a whole day there, really. Like, just if you like, walk around, because then you can see all the little details, like look inside the houses. You can't really enter, but you can look inside.
Mhm.
So yeah, so Valeria, so there are typical plants that you may find in the desert, and you should pay attention in touching them. Yeah, exactly, because you can say they're prickly.
Yeah. They're very fashionable now, though. I know a lot of people who are passionate about cacti in irregular plural, because they're quite low maintenance, I think.
Exactly. I did manage to kill the two I had, but I
You,
just like, well, I mean, so I got them like these two little ones for free at an event that I attended. They were giving them out, and I just kind of actually forgot about them, like completely. I just put them like in the corner, and then like I went to see, and it was all like dried up completely.
oh yeah, you do have to do a little bit, I
It's
guess.
just a little bit, yeah. Let's see. Valeria has another one. So it's similar to powder, but it's generally brown. You can find it in both the desert and the seaside. Perfect. Really nice descriptions. Yeah. And they really kind of hit the nail on the head there. They really explain what it is. Paula is saying sand is kind of land. You can find it in the desert. I think it could be dangerous. If you breathe it during a sandstorm, you can die. Yeah, good point.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah, I
that.
didn't know that. Yeah. But it reminds me of like the Mummy movies with the sandstorms.
Yeah, I remember those films.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, cool. We're gonna move on here, guys. All right, I guess let's do maybe this one. I think it's maybe more obscure in some ways. This is a common one, ladder. Often people just say stairs for them. So I think in Italian it's the same word.
It
We have
is.
a ladder, a hammer, and a light bulb.
Mhm.
So let us know again, guys, how we can describe these. Sean, do you want to give it a go? Just pick one of those.
Yeah, I think I'll go for hammer. So this is a tool that is used to put nails in walls. One of the uses of this tool, you generally hit the nail on the head, the little nail on the head several times to hit it into a wall or a plank of wood, something like this. It's a blunt tool, blunt instrument. That's very standard. Mhm.
Great. Yeah, that is one tool. I mean, most tools really I've never learned how to use. I've tried using a hammer a few times in my life and it was a disaster.
Yeah, I think these days you'd use a screwdriver more often, really.
Yeah.
Mm. I do actually remember once I took an Italian conversation class when I was still in Ireland to practice my Italian because I never had a chance to use it in Ireland. And I remember one lesson where we were talking about this subject, like household tools and things like this. And the teacher, who was Italian, didn't know the English words. We didn't know the Italian words. And it was really difficult to communicate with each other about them, to to align our different words. Yeah,
Yeah, to get it across. Yeah, it's a martello, right? It's in Italian.
it is.
I know
Yeah.
because there's like a song with that. I remember that. We did it in Italian class in college, and then ever since it stayed with me.
Okay.
Um, cool. So let's see. Paula says light bulb is a fantastic object that can help you when it's pitch dark. Nice pitch. I guess we could say pitch black. Maybe pitch dark can also work though. Usually, this object is used to represent ideas. Yeah, nice one, Paula. And that's a really good strategy. Is to not only go for one. Just one way of explaining it is to try to be creative as well and give like different ones. So it can help you when it's pitch black. Maybe I'll think of a flashlight, right? But then once you tell me, usually it's used to represent ideas, then I immediately think of a light bulb.
Yeah. I suppose the hammer is used for the Soviet Union along with the sickle. That could
Yeah,
be
exactly.
helpful. Hmm.
And a nice word that you mentioned there as well, just to clarify, guys, was the nail. Because obviously, nail, we usually think of our nails, right, in our fingers, but it's also the object that we use to maybe hang like a painting on the wall or something. You can use that, a nail. All right. I guess we do have just one more that just came in. Great. Valeria did the ladder. So something you can use to take something you need from shelves if you're too short to do it. If you don't have a chair, of course. Yes. Perfect. I can certainly relate, Valeria. I'm quite short myself, so I don't have a ladder, but I do have a chair. So sometimes I have to use that too when I have to take like the sugar or like cornstarch. They're like on the top shelf, and so sometimes I can't reach it, so I have to use a chair. And hi
No.
Alice. Ladder is an object you definitely need if you're a painter. It has steps, usually is metallic, but it can also be made not made by wood in this case, but can be made of wood. Or you can even say, you said it's metallic or wooden if you'd like to use the adjective. Nicely done, though.
Mm.
Cool. Yeah, I'm actually kind of scared of ladders. When I try,
Yeah.
once I get past like the third ring, it's too unstable for me. It starts shaking. I get like I'm like afraid I'm gonna fall.
I'm quite superstitious about walking under a ladder.
Ah,
I
yeah,
don't
that's
know
also true. Yeah,
in Italy, but you could use that "don't walk under one, it's bad luck."
yeah. No, I'm just like yeah, I'm afraid also that yeah, it's like it will just collapse. Someone will fall on top of me. But I feel the same way about those like passageways through when you have like scaffolding on a building.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know how we had one behind Meravigli, behind the school?
Yeah, you didn't walk through it.
I did sometimes, but I would take the other one, which was a
Oh,
bit of the longer one as it kind of curved around.
yeah, I didn't consider that bad luck. It's not a ladder per
No, it
se.
wasn't even like for bad luck. It was just like just afraid of it collapsing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Here are some other good ones. So we have the personal trainer, weights, and treadmill. Yeah, treadmill is a really obscure one. You would probably not know. And I
Hmm.
actually don't think there is an Italian word for treadmill. Use the like French word.
Oh, I've never had to learn that one.
Yeah, I learned that the couple times I tried going to the gym.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
failed all time. Yeah.
I mean, if you went to an English-speaking gym, you'd have to know what the word to ask for where it is.
Yeah. So let's see. Okay, I guess I'll do the first one, personal trainer. So this is a professional that you can hire their services either through the gym that you attend, or you can also hire a personal trainer outside the gym. It's a person who has studied, the body, the movements, maybe muscle gain or weight loss, and this person can help you through your exercises. They can give you tips. They can prepare like a plan, and also make sure that you have the right posture when you're doing those exercises. There we go. Yeah, tapis roulant, that's what it's called in Italian, the French word.
Oh,
I guess tapis, I wonder if that means like
carpet.
a carpet, right? So it's like a
So it's
rolling
a
carpet.
rolling carpet. That's nice.
And Alicia said it's a bad luck sign because passing through it, you had to cut a tri. Ah, that's the reason. Cutting a triangle. Cool.
Okay.
And in my gym, it is called, oh, it's just called the run. Oh, that's funny.
Hmm.
Yeah, another one you might use at the gym is the elliptical, and that's the one that kind of it's sort of
Hmm.
similar to a treadmill, but it's not just like a moving um, what would you
It's like
call
your
it?
arms on your legs, isn't
Yeah,
it?
like your arms and your legs. You're kind of. I actually prefer the elliptical over a treadmill, and I think it's actually more efficient as well. Definitely
Okay.
makes you more tired.
Yeah. I'll try to describe weights. I think
Hmm.
these aren't that complicated. So this is an object that you use for exercising in a gym, a very heavy object designed to build muscles in your arms, most often, but also ones you get ones for your legs and other parts of your body. And you build a muscle by picking up these objects and bringing them down again, picking up and down.
Yeah, great. So again, guys, if you are typing your answer, just keep going, and we'll check them as they come in. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay. Okay, I'm actually going to move ahead here just so we can also look at some expressions that could be useful. The first one is right on top here, actually. So to shed some light. So this is used, it's pretty common. So when you shed some light onto something, you're clarifying a situation. So I might ask you, Sean, could you shed some light on this for me? Could you help me understand it better? Could you clarify the situation? So to shed light. And okay, let's see. We got a couple answers. So Alicia says a personal trainer is a person that can help you train at your home or at the gym. He or she is a professional specialist of muscle gain or weight loss. Yes, nice expressions there. And a personal trainer is a person who should help you find your top form, maybe to find your desired shape, your desired body or something like that, instead of form, I would say. But I don't like following his orders. And I usually only use the treadmill. There you go. Yeah. So the treadmill, like the exercises you would do on the treadmill or the elliptical, etc., we call that cardio. Exercises intended to make one lose weight. So they make your heart beat faster, lose weight. And the other one, I guess, or like weight training or like muscle building. Alicia also says, treadmill is an object that allows you to run inside a room without going outside. Yeah, perfect, Alicia. So just remember there, it's an object, so it's one. So it's an object that allows, with an S, to run inside a room without going outside. So ing after without. Okay? So we have some idioms here. So I'm going to read the expressions, and then Sean, if you can maybe just read the definitions. And then guys, what do you think they mean? So lost the plot, hit the nail on the head, get or catch someone's drift, and to be on the ball.
Okay, so a situation becomes so confusing that you are unable to understand what is happening, able to deal with things quickly and intelligently. You understand someone in a general way. You understand the exact nature of a problem or situation.
Exactly. So let us know what you think they mean. I gotta be honest, that first one, I don't think I've ever really come across myself. Like,
Really?
lost the plot. No,
Oh, I would say that 110%.
really.
She's
No.
she's lost the plot. I would use it for people a lot. Oh, he's lost the plot. She's lost the plot.
Yeah, it's British. I'm checking on the dictionary. It's a British
Okay.
idiom. To become confused or crazy here. Huh. So yeah, obviously the plot is the kind of the storyline of like a book or a movie. So if you lose I guess you can also use it in different tenses, right? It doesn't have to be just lost the plot. It's like to lose the plot.
Mm-hmm. I would say be on the ball sometimes, but the one that I use more often, which is maybe a bit particular, but I like it, is there's no flies on you. Have you heard it?
Never.
Yeah.
There's no
Because
flies on you.
yeah, because I think it's if you're dead, there's flies on you. So the opposite here.
Oh. So like you're
Yeah.
super awake, you're like not even sleeping,
Oh
okay.
yeah, there's no flies on you.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, so lost the plot, the situation becomes so confusing that you are unable to understand what's happening. Yes, exactly. I think this one, we actually used it earlier when just talking about things in general. So to hit the nail on the head, we definitely did talk about the nail. So if you hit the nail on the head,
Mm.
so Paula had 4D. So I guess maybe you're saying to be on the ball, that's what 4 is, and then D is you understand the exact nature of a problem or situation.
Mm,
So sort of, but there's a better one for that one, Paula, I would say.
yeah.
So imagine, so as I said before, I'm very bad with a hammer. So, because I cannot manage to quite, get it right. I'm not good at aiming it where I should. So if I am good, then I am able to hit the nail on the head. So
Yeah.
basically, if I hit the nail on the head, this is number 4. So you understand the exact nature of a problem or situation. So when you get something completely, exactly, Valeria. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay. For the third one, yeah, here it says to get someone's drift. I tend to say catch someone's drift. And I think, at least based on experience, I use it more as a question than a statement. Say, do you catch my drift?
Yeah.
Basically means, do you know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe do you get what I'm implying? I think sometimes we use it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
If something is, you're not fully saying something, shall we say?
Yeah, so it's more something that is general. So to catch or to get someone's drift. And then the last one, to be on the ball, is basically someone who is able to deal with things quickly and intelligently. So I guess all the participants here are Italian. This, I guess, would be the equivalent of in Italian you say like essere sul pezzo. So someone who is always able to, if a situation, a difficulty, or there's an obstacle, they're able to quickly manage that in an intelligent, smart way, to be on the ball. Which is really funny because in Italian you do have the expression to be on someone's balls. It
Mm.
means
Oh,
to be
yeah.
annoying, to be really annoying, right?
Not a positive one. I
Yeah.
think, funnily enough, to be on the ball is positive, but the kind of Irish equivalent that I use, there's no flies on you, is maybe a bit disparaging, saying, "Oh, you're being too clever," because we don't like people
I
being too
see.
intelligent.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the word you told me. Full of notions. Is that the
Oh
expression?
yeah, full of
Someone
notions.
is full of
Yeah,
notions.
no flies on you. You're full of notions.
So, all right, guys. Well, we're getting to the end of our webinar here today. So hopefully we're able to get some good, specific vocabulary and also to like express yourself. So we're just going to take a minute here just to briefly go over. So, all right, we did talk about a clown, easy. Remember, this is a globe. We call this lightning or thunder. So you see lightning, you hear the thunder. Then we looked at some vocab here. A razor, something used to shave. You weigh yourself. So the verb without the T, you weigh yourself on a scale. I guess these are pretty straightforward. The stairs are the ones that are, they're just fixed. They're always there. Those are called stairs. But the ladder is the one that is kind of temporary. It's usually metallic, sometimes wooden. A treadmill is the one that you run on, but you might also have the elliptical, which is another one that can be used in the gym. And then we saw some of these expressions as well. So to shed some light is to clarify a situation. If someone loses the plot, the situation becomes too confusing for them to follow. Hit the nail on the head to get something exactly. To get someone's drift is to understand something generally, and to be on the ball is more about an attitude or a way of being that you're able to quickly manage difficulties or something that is confusing that comes to you. You're able to overcome that easily. All right, Sean, anything you would add before we wrap this up?
No, just good work, everyone. I think vocabulary can be kind of a final frontier in learning English, very
Yeah.
important at these higher levels.
Exactly. And a nice way for you to practice this, even on your own, is to, maybe just get a magazine or just look at random pictures, identify an object and just try to explain it, using different words. You can also, another thing you can do is if you Google taboo cards, you can find vocabulary and then try describing that word without using the 4 words they're giving you that are usually related to that. If you want an extra challenge, you can try taboo, which I know it's also played in Italy, so you can do it in English. Taboo cards. There are loads of resources online you can use.
Okay.
All right, so thanks, guys. Have a lovely evening, and we'll see you around.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.